Hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to I Drew Some Reviews. Hey, where are you going? Oh good, you're back. Now, as I was saying, welcome to I Drew Some Reviews. Wait, don't go away again. Stay right there. Okay. This is the first ever review on this channel. So I'd like to welcome you to my new channel, where I will be showing people reviews of technical products and gadgets and devices. But the goal of this is I'm going to be giving a little bit more technical information that you may not have available in most of the reviews. I'm also going to be doing these reviews in this ludicrous voice. So that's a feature, I think. So the first review is going to be for a set of gaming headsets. No. Not these gaming headsets. These gaming headsets. We'll get to these. We're not there yet. We're starting with these, and you'll have to earn this review. You'll get there. So, this headset is the Steelseries Siberia V2. It's available virtually everywhere, and it's actually fairly inexpensive. I'm not going to price quote you, because prices change a lot. I'd like this video to remain relatively viable. But it's fairly inexpensive as compared to these. There's definitely a lot cheaper headsets out there you can get, but this is sort of the quality point that I recommend people to buy into when they want to get a proper gaming headset. So, if it's your time to move into something and you think it's time to get a proper gaming headset, something real that you're going to use for a long period of time, you're not going to spend 20 bucks on them, this is the sort of price point I would definitely recommend. So I'm saying headset. Is that different than headphone? Yes. Yes, it is. So what differentiates a headset and a headphone is the microphone. So it doesn't look like these have a microphone, right? This little nub here actually slides out and it's extendable and positionable, so that is the microphone. Nice feature to have, because a large portion of time when you're using a set of gaming headsets, you're not using the microphone, depending on your gaming need. If you're an MMO raider or you're a glitch shooter, you're going to be talking a lot probably. But a lot of cases, it's a nice to have the microphone there when you need it, but otherwise you're mostly just using these as headphones. So nice to be able to slide those away, especially for travel. It's nice to be able to tuck that away and it's not going to get in the way of things. So let's run down the specs of these real quick. Specs are a big thing that I'm going to be talking about on this channel because most people don't know how to read them, and most of the specs that are listed places are wrong. Okay, so how does it happen that manufacturers get specs wrong? Well, a lot of people don't understand how specs work or what they mean, so they don't have a lot of incentive to make sure that they're all listed exactly right. So let's go through what SteelSeries has listed for the Siberia V2 headset. The first stat it lists on its website, and I'll put these in the show notes so it should appear just below the video. It says frequency response 18 to 28,000 Hertz. Well, right out of the gate, the stat they're trying to list there is actually called frequency range. Similar concept, and a lot of people confuse the difference between frequency response and frequency range. Frequency range is the total range of the frequencies that the headphone is able to produce. So human hearing is between 20 and 20,000 Hertz. So as long as the headphones you're shopping for cover that range, the extra 8,000 Hertz that these headphones are capable of producing, you'll never hear. So As long as you cover the 20 to 20,000 area, good to go for frequency range. And that's the perfect healthy human ear, which we're all damaged a little bit in hearing. Frequency response, which is what they wrote here, should actually show up as a graph. So there should be the full frequency range at the bottom of the graph, and there should be a chart going through the middle showing what volume each of those frequencies comes out at. And that's going to be measured in dBm. I can go into more detail. I'm probably going to make a spec video about how to shop for headphones. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see, because what it's going to cover is the fact that you may hear people talk about a flat sound, and that has to do with that frequency response graph being fairly flat and therefore not adding their own color to the noise. So frequency response, I don't have a frequency response chart for the Siberia V2. A large number of headphones, you'll not be able to find the information about frequency response. So what you're seeing here is frequency range. Next biggest one here is called impedance. And again, it's not a full written stat. The line should read input impedance. And what the input impedance is, and it's measured in ohms, is essentially the headphone's resistance to noise. So think about signal coming in on the line to your headphones. So if the volume of the actual audio signal or music or game noise sound or whatever is here and the noise is here, that impedance is what decides what the threshold is between something it should play to your ears and something it should ignore. So that's helping you block out noise on the line on the headphones. So in this case, it's the input impedance is 32 ohms. Now, from that description, you may make it may seem like, so these headphones I'm wearing here are 150 ohms. So it may seem like these have a higher input impedance, therefore they're going to hear less noise, therefore they're better headphones. That's true, and it's not true. The importance when talking about impedance is it's all about matching to your source. I don't mean impedance matching. People have heard of that term, and they think it means if you have 32 ohm headphones, you should plug them into a 32 ohm source. That's not correct. You should, on paper, you should have a factor of 8 difference. So your source's output impedance should be 1/8 of your headphone's input impedance, or less. That's what we're talking about, matching the impedance of the source. The term impedance matching, making sure that both have the exact same impedance, has to do with 2 cables running to 2 different outputs. So up top in the corners of the screen, you'll see my Yamaha Studio monitors. So those are impedance matching to make sure that both monitors get exactly the same amount of volume and exactly the same amount of sound at a baseline. That's impedance matching. That's got nothing to do with headphones. Don't impedance match headphones. So you're looking at the source, it's got an output impedance and it's got a wattage. Again, it's really hard to find the stat on the output impedance and the wattage of the source. But what I will tell you from my own knowledge is 32 ohm input impedance means that these headphones are very versatile. It means that you can plug them into your phone, your tablet, an old MP3 player. You can plug them into anything that will produce sound, and you're going to get a pretty good quality audio out, and you're going to get a lot of volume out. So something like these headphones, you might need a bit of a stronger output amplifier to get that heavy volume, but that's not necessarily what you're after. It depends on what you want. So really versatile, can plug them in anywhere and get a good sound out of them. And that's kind of the key to these, is that they're kind of middle of the road in terms of price, they're middle of the road in terms of sound quality, and they're usable everywhere. So really, really versatile headphone. They're light, so this is a comfort thing. Steelseries is a hardware manufacturer that was actually bought out by professional gamers, and the professional gamers then built stuff designed for gamers. So these are 24 ounce, but they have this suspension system built into them on the side, so it really shares the load really evenly across your head. And these ear cups have nice big padding on them, so that's really going to absorb a lot of the energy on your ears, and they breathe nicely. So you can wear these for hours at a time and not have a problem. And that's a really big feature in a gaming headset. In terms of design quality, you might hear some creaks and pops involved in them, but they really don't do that when you're wearing them. And I'll tell you that I'm in the Navy, and I have taken these everywhere I've been, basically, since I've owned them for 2 to 3 years now, and they are not damaged in the slightest. They've been thrown into lockers, hidden in the bunk of a bed. I've used them and traveled with them and brought them in computer bags wherever I needed to go, and these have always been there, and they've worked very well for that. So very, very rugged design, very comfortable headset, really good sound response, so you're going to be happy with that. I want to talk about a couple of quick design features to compare one set of headphones to the other. So these are a closed design headphone, and what a closed design headphone means, sometimes it's called passive noise blocking or just noise blocking. What that means is that it's actually a sealed cup over your ear. So with this padding sealing on and this closed cup, what that's going to do is make it so that if you're listening to music, let's say in a library setting or in a quiet environment, your music or game noise is not going to bleed out to the environment as much. So these are actually pretty good for that. You can go up pretty high on the volume and the person right next to you doesn't hear a thing. That also works in the other direction. So that noise blocking means that if you're in a noisy environment, you're not going to hear a bunch of that noise blocking out what you're trying to do. I don't want you to confuse this with active noise cancellation. So active noise cancellation actually uses a microphone to listen to ambient noise and then counters that in what you're hearing. Active noise cancellation is really good for like an airplane or white noise or continuous noise, but it does nothing for speech patterns or sudden sounds. Noise blocking is going to block those out much better. So the opposite of a closed headphone design is an open headphone design. A lot of people argue that they have a nicer sound, they have a wider sound stage, as it's called, but you're going to get sound bleed out in both directions. So understand what you want, listen to both types, and make a decision for yourself. But make sure that your headphones suit what you need to use them for. So the key to this is, I'm going to say private listening, but essentially that. You're not going to bother other people with the sound coming out of them. That's a big feature for me traveling with them. Another part is the microphone here. So this microphone is uni-directional, so it's just designed, there's 3 little slashes on that side and they're listening forward, right? So what a unidirectional microphone is it's just listening in one direction, but it's not actually actively canceling out anything else that's happening. So you may hear some, if you have a baby crying in the background or a dog barking or something like that, that's going to get some bleed through into your voice signal here. The other version of that is an actual noise canceling microphone like this, where there's a microphone on the inside and one on the outside, and they're working together. So if I snap my fingers here, you hear them nice and loud, but if I snap my fingers here, you hear much less or maybe nothing at all. So different designs of microphones. The danger with these is just an advertising danger. Often people will call the whole headset active noise cancelling when they're just referring to the fact that the microphone is active noise cancelling. So watch out for that. That does happen a lot. Another piece of design on these is they have an inline mute switch and volume control. This is the design that was used for a very long time. I personally am not a fan of inline controls. I find that if you need to reach for them, you have a hard time grabbing them in a short period. If someone needs to talk to you right away, you're not going to be able to grab this to turn the volume down. You're just going to take the headphones off. And if you need to mute your microphone really quick, you're better off just cupping it than trying to reach for and finding this. So what I found when I use these headphones is I just use the microphone in a push-to-talk format rather than a hot mic format. Coming at the end, we have your green and pink classic 3.5mm jacks, and the box also comes with a nice long extension, which is important if you have a ridiculous setup where you need to weave cables all over places to get them to where they need to be. So thank you, Steelseries. Very important to have that. So quick final talk here. Steelseries Siberia V2, absolutely solid headset choice. You're going to see these in red, black, white. I think there's a Diablo version, there's a Call of Duty version or something to that effect. There's also a newer version of them with bigger foam pads and little lights on the outside. It's still the exact same design, it's still the exact same comfort factor. A little bit easier on the ears, but it's the same harmonics and electronics inside. So if you see those for a deal as well, go ahead and grab those instead. It's all going to be an excellent sound quality, excellent build quality, and you're going to be really happy with them. They're definitely worth looking into. So yeah, have a look at them, have a listen to them, and see if you agree. So go ahead and comment and let me know what you thought of my review, or if you have other products you'd like me to review, like these headphones. What are these headphones? Well, these are Sennheiser's Game Zeros. They're a much more expensive headphone, I'm afraid. So these are going to be reviewed at some point, and then let me know if you'd like to see some more detailed information about specs. So I might put together a video about how to shop for headphones and just cover in more detail what each of those specs mean and what you need to look for to make sure you get the right headphone for your application. So thanks for watching. I drew some reviews. This is Drew signing off.